Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speak Up Sis Talk Radio. I'm your host, Angel Charmaine, and this is the place where authors, especially Christian authors, have an opportunity to share the word of their testimony through their books to inspire the stories of others. Welcome back into the space. It has been a minute since I've been here with you all and an author, but I've got an amazing guest here today. Her book is awesome. We're actually reading it right now in the Speak Up Sis Bookshelf Book Club. And people are finishing reading it. People are like, this is a great book. This is amazing. I am almost through. I was up like in the middle of the night, just like reading. So I am excited to have author and life coach Tonya Williams here in the building. How you doing, sis?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, listen. I'm trying to get myself together. I was telling Tonya before we came on that I am always nervous, y'all. Every time I turn the camera on, I am always nervous. I don't know if I'm ever gonna not be nervous doing this, but I bless God that I get an opportunity to do it. So talk to us. Tell us a little bit about who is Tonya.
Well, I really didn't know who Tonya was until, really just a few years ago. I was kind of like everybody else. I was a mom, I was a wife, I worked full time, and, I just really wanted something of my own. Mm-hmm. And ministry became my outlet. And it's just something that I absolutely love. And I got heavily involved in church, and I even went to ministry school and things like that, but I really felt that God was calling me outside four walls, and I didn't really even know what that was. And, I was like, well, wait a minute, God, I've really just gotten used to how the church works. Now you're calling me outside four walls. So as I began the process, I was halfway through school. I started a podcast. And yes, and so I named it Fierce, Favorably, and Spiritually Grounded. So I talked about subjects that were everyday life experiences that people go through, but things that the church really shies away from and they don't like to talk about. And I would apply some biblical principles to it, and then some steps as a life coach would to help them, get through them. Well, as I went through that process, God started to speak to me about life coaching. And really, that's my passion and that's my ministry. And I've really just become a transformational life coach to teach people really to become the best version of themselves, and that you don't have to be perfect to have your life together to serve God, or even, we all have things about ourselves that we want to correct or fix. So that's really what I do. And that's really who I've become. I've just really become this person who likes to motivate, inspire, and help others.
Right. I can tell. I watch your page once we got connected and you listed your book on the bookshelf. One thing that people don't realize is that I actually pay attention. I'm watching. I believe in divine connections. I believe that God strategically and divinely places us in spaces with people we're supposed to connect with, and I don't like attachments, so I pay attention to people. And so I was watching you. You're always smiling, you're always dancing. I think your husband's a DJ or VJ or something like that. And so you're always just really upbeat and very positive, really good energy. So I was like, okay, I like her. I like her. But are you saying that were you not always like that?
No. God has really done a 360 on me. I was always behind the scenes. I didn't like to talk in front of people. I was very shy. I was very quiet. Like even at family functions, I would just kind of be quiet into myself. I wasn't rude and not speak, but I was just quiet. And, my mother-in-law tells me all the time, she's like, I can't even believe you're the same person, because the person I knew is not the person you are today.
That's
So
what's up.
it's just really amazing because I guess I went from like a non-people person to now
Uh-huh.
I'm a people person.
Right. I'm trying to pace myself because I really want to tell them all about the book, because I don't want to tell them all about the book because I want them to go get the book and read the book. But I kind of want to tell them all about the book because listen, okay. So here's the book, everybody. Y'all already know. So first thing, I have the ebook version and I have the paperback tangible copy because I'm not sure if you knew this, but I'm an educator. I've been an educator for 20 years. I taught English. There's something about being able to mark up the pages.
That's how I am.
I just love it. So I got old school, right? I got notes and everything. And I'm going to tell you, can we be candid?
Absolutely.
There were some spaces in here that really stopped me. Places that I didn't think would stop me. That when I got to them, I was like, she really gonna force me
to do that.
To really deal with some things. When you talk about, obviously we can see that you're a white woman, and you talk about a situation where you have family members who don't really do, the whole Black people thing. And then you keep reading and you got pictures and things, and then you see that, you married and you tell the stories. And I'm going to tell you, as a Black woman reading this book, there were so many feelings that I had in the life stories. And because when you're reading a book, you're trying to connect with the protagonist. And so there were pieces where I'm like, oh, our stories are so similar. And then I was like, I can't relate to this. Or, when I tell you this was an experience for me, it is an experience for me. And I think it's a beautiful experience because as a Black woman, I tend to read memoirs, biographies, autobiographies, transformational stories by other Black women.
Mm-hmm.
It was something to read a book like my book, but from a white woman. Oh,
I love that.
That thing messed me up in the middle of the night.
What?
Yes, it did. And I'm telling you, you got to read it, because I said, and I found myself at some points looking for ways to say we're different.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, nah, that sounds like your story right there.
Yeah.
That over there sound like you too. Yep, you did that too. Yeah. So listen, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Do you ever think about, like your book says, the best version of me? Did it ever cross your mind that you would have women from all different backgrounds and races of women, nationalities of women, who are going to be reading this, looking for the best version of themselves, and finding that they're very similar to you? Did you ever think about that?
Like that was my goal, that whoever picked up the book, that they could take something from it, because we all have that mindset that, we're not good enough, or we're in bondage to shame and the things that's happened to us. We tend to let that take on our identity. And so when I started writing the book, I didn't even know what I was going to write about, how it was going to go. And I was just like, okay, God, you've given me this vision about this book, so you're going to have to write this book. You're going to have to tell me what you want me to share, what you want me to say. And he did just that. And in my mind, it was really just, if it helps one person, then my assignment was complete.
Right.
But I really hope that it would open the eyes to people to to connect, not necessarily to look at our differences, but like you said, to look at how we're alike, and
Yes.
to take off the mask and the color. And I even had a guy to inbox me today and told me that he read the book, and when he bought it, I didn't really think any guys would read it. I told my husband, but it's a friend of my husband, and he just wanted to support his friend's wife, so he purchased the book. And he said he started reading and he fell into it and couldn't put it down.
Right.
And he even said that for him as a man, he could relate, and it helped him to understand women a little bit better and what they went through and why we act the way we do and things like that. So, I feel that it was successful, that if it's touching people in that way and they can relate and get something out of it, then that's all that I hope to accomplish.
Yeah. And well, it's totally doing that. And like I said, when you talk about God girls, my face is probably in a dictionary somewhere, like God girl, Angel Charmaine. And even I was accosted by some of the things that I read. Even I had to wrestle with some heart stuff. You know what I'm saying? And to get to the best version of myself. It is crazy to read somebody else's story thinking you're going to get something else. And then God says, look at that right there. That right there, deal with that. I'm telling you, in the middle of the night, I was like, not tonight. I mean, really, this is what we doing tonight? Jesus, really?
Because there's always a root to everything.
Yes.
We have a tendency to sweep it under the rug and say, well, if I just forget about it, it'll go away.
Right.
But it doesn't. It comes up in other ways, in other forms, in other areas. And then by then, it's just like a volcano. You can't control it.
Yes, I agree. So I want to talk about something else. You and I kind of briefly chatted about this before getting on, and it's something that I also face as an author. So right now I've written 3 books. I've self-published 3 books, but the very first one, I like to say it was my do it scared thing experience. I've done a lot of things scared.
I do everything scared.
I'm telling you, I listen, I've done a lot of things that other people are like, I don't know how you did it because I wouldn't have. And I'm like, oh girl, you can just do it. But there was something different about putting my business, right? Mm-hmm. In writing on the page and putting it out there for other people to pick apart if they wanted to.
But it's freeing also.
It is freeing.
Like you can be the best version of yourself because you have nothing to hide.
Exactly. So you said you did this scared. Did you know anything about writing or writing a book or publishing or any of that before you started?
Girl, no, I haven't known anything about anything that I have done up to this point. The podcast, the writing, the speaking, the only thing I knew was ministry. And I had just really grasped that. Like even the life coach, and I had never even heard of what a life coach was, and I've just really embraced everything that God has given me to do and been obedient in it. And just done my research. Google has become my best friend. Like I literally Googled when I started my podcast, how to start a podcast. What should I talk about? Should I have an introduction? How long it should be? What days of the week should, all those things. And technology is great. So there's no excuse in this day and time to not be able to do something because you don't know how.
Right.
You may not know people, but your people know people. And if you have any kind of electronic device, you can figure out how to do anything.
Pretty much.
If these teenagers can do all these TikToks and YouTube.
Okay.
We can do anything we set our mind to.
We really can. So let's take just a moment because we've got some guests in the space today. And I would like to just kind of take a look at what they have to say to you. So let's see here. And y'all excuse me. I'm gonna put my glasses on for this. Put my glasses on so I can read. It looks like, hey Tamika, I see you in the building watching from YouTube. She says, good evening, everyone. Hello, beautiful queens. How you doing, sis? It's good to see you. Merritt Latanya says yes. I don't know what she's saying yes to.
Maybe that's my best friend. That's my best friend.
Oh, that's your best friend. Roosevelt Williams. Okay, your hubby.
That's my husband.
That's your best friend, right?
Yeah, that's best friend.
He says, hello, everyone. Let's see here. It's an awesome book. We've got Mary Roberts. She says, good evening, everyone. Tamika, what she says, I love her page. Yes, always smiling, and I love it. I was jamming to his blues session over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Tamika says, mine is crazy with notes and stuff highlighted. So Tamika is a part of the Speak Up Sis book club, and she's already finished reading your book, and she's got so much to say about it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hold on a second. We've got all kind of people talking in here tonight. Belinda says, this is a good conversation. Thank you, Belinda. Thank you for showing up. Courtney says, hey there, Sister Kinfolk. I love the transparency of you both. So I'm glad you use that word transparency, Tamika. One thing that I have learned, and I think you can attest to this as well, is that in order to grow, in order to get to the best version of yourself, you've got to be willing to be vulnerable, transparent, and honest. And I believe people use those words interchangeably, and they mean very different things.
Yeah.
But transparency, allowing people to be able to see you, see through the representative, right? Through all of the other stuff, through all of the defense mechanisms, and have this clear, view to you. Has that been difficult for you to be so transparent in your writing?
I don't think so. I think for me, the transparency came in during church. I was, in some settings, I was taught that you're a leader. You're supposed to act like you have it all together. Don't let people know that you have issues. And I just couldn't rock with that, because I was like, that's a lie,
Yeah.
And in order to relate to people, you have to be real.
Yeah.
And you have to be transparent. And I was like, well, how am I going to relate to people if I act like I have it all together?
Yeah.
So that has really been a lot of, I'm very bold in my teachings and the stuff that I do. And so transparency is easy for me, because I feel like if I had to go through it to help somebody else, then it was worth it. And I think being transparent is how we heal. The more we talk about it, the more we heal from it. The more we keep it bottled up, the more we suffer, and we're just self-sabotaging ourselves.
Exactly. Mary Roberts is on here. How you doing, Mary? She's also a bookshelf author, and she says something all the time that I'm always repeating. She always says, what is it? Covered things can't get healed. And it's the truth. If you're not willing to uncover it, if you're not allowing that thing to come to, get some air and get to the light, you're not going to be able to heal from it. And
sometimes
if you're not,
you just got to rip the Band-Aid off.
You have to rip it off, right? And God tells us that we can't even communicate with him properly outside of being in the spirit and being truthful. Yep. So if you're not willing to be transparent, you're definitely not going to be honest, right? So that's what's up. Let's see here. Let's put these glasses back. I'm telling you, there's so many comments tonight that I want to make sure that that we get to see the people. How about that?
Okay.
How you doing, Deborah? Deborah says hello. Teresa says that's my
That's
old
my
boy.
mom. Hey,
Oh,
mom.
that's your mama.
That's real good.
Listen, one thing you're gonna learn and Speak Up Sis world. We love mamas, honey.
Yes.
Every morning we do the morning show for believers. My mom comes on and we sing a song. So I'm gonna sing a song for your mama, Miss Teresa. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he writes out all of my prescriptions. He gives me all my medicine in my room.
That's take us to church, girl. Take us to church.
We love mamas and Speak Up Sis. Thank you for popping on tonight. How you doing, Janice? She says, love me some Tonya. That's what's up. Belinda, you know what's up.
She said, y'all, you singing.
That's right. Come on in the room. All right. So listen, I want you to share a little bit about you as a life coach as well, because you're not just an author, but you're also a life coach. Do you use your book in your coaching process? Because you have tips and things in here as well.
Actually, the book was inspired from the podcast and life coaching. So my podcast, like I said, I talk about everyday life situations. I try to give a scripture or a verse because I want them to get that little bit of Bible without, feeling like I'm beating them over the head with it. But also I give them tips on how to maybe get through whatever their situation is. So that's really how the book came together. I just kind of took the spin off of the podcast and my life coaching and done that. But really, that's just how I coach. Like I said, it's transformational coaching. But some of the things that I coach in is financial, relational, and spiritual, because those are like the three areas that I really struggled with. And I don't believe in coaching in something that I don't know about. I feel like, again, that's a lie. I like to coach about things that I've experienced myself, so I can relate to you and say, hey, I've been there. This is how I got through it. It may not work for you, but at least gives you a free blueprint on how to get through it. And I'm very honest and I say, I don't know. I've never experienced that, but I'm connected to other coaches. This person can help you. I don't believe in taking people's money if I can't help them.
Yeah, and that's honest, and that's operating in a spirit of integrity. So I like that. I like that you said financial coaching. That's something that even in the book, I noticed that was one of those moments I had in the book where you were like, my mama,
she did,
right? Helped me out with that financial thing. She taught me some things about money. And that was one of those things where I had a moment with my own personal self. And I was like, that's something that I know as a Black woman, that's something that we typically don't get. And I'm sure if you're coaching a lot of, Black American women, that's probably a huge issue, is that managing money, not ever really having been taught, how to budget or balance a checkbook and things of that nature. So do you get a lot of people that you work with who need that type of help?
I do. And, we started very young with our kids, teaching them. I think they were 10 when we taught them, but we set them down. I know people don't write checks anymore or do a ledger or anything like that, but we taught them that stuff anyway. And we gave them scenarios, like we gave them an allowance and, pretend like you're in college. This is how much money you have to work with. Well, guess what? You need groceries and you've had 2 flat tires this week, so it's going to cost this amount of money. And as they started getting older, I noticed that they would take advantage of us buying these $70 video games. They would step on them and break them, and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was just like, if you want it, you're going to have to earn it. So we taught them how to sell stuff on eBay, or how to, go trade in the old ones to get money. And they made an allowance to make up the rest. And they could not get a new one until they had the money to buy it themselves. But what I learned in that is they took better care of it when they had to pay for it themselves. And, we would even find ways in the store, like when they say, Mom, I want this $80 polo shirt. I would say, do you want to spend your $80 on it? They would be like, no. And I said, well, neither do I. Hang it back up. So everything is a teachable moment. You just have to be aware and be in that moment with them. Right. But yes, I've encountered that a lot.
Who's the more strict in your house, you or dad, with the kids when it comes to money?
Well, they're both really good with money, honestly. My husband, he's a great saver. He's one of those people that won't spend money on himself, even if he needs it, But the kids, because we taught them at an early age, I think the youngest one is 14. He's got money saved from his last birthday, which was June. So they're both very good with money. The oldest one is about to turn 20, and he works 2 jobs. He saves his money. He has a pretty fat savings account already.
Okay.
And another thing, here's a free tip that we did with them. When they turn 16, without them knowing, I add them to one of my credit cards. So it builds up their credit. Well, probably about 6 months ago, I told my oldest son, he has 1 semester left of school, so he'll be looking to move out probably, the next year or so. And there's going to be things he wants to do. Well, I don't want to co-sign. I don't want to have to get your electricity in my name. Right. So I told him, I said, I want you to check your credit. And he's like, what's that? And I was just like, I had to explain to him what it was. And he looked, and I think his credit score was like 746.
Oh, go ahead.
My husband was like, what? He's like, how's his credit score like that? He's like, he don't need us for anything. Boy, you can buy your own car and everything.
Because his mama's smart. That's why.
So it was, and he told me, he's like, my cousin went to go buy a car and he didn't even have credit. His mom had to co-sign and things like that. But my husband is most definitely the strictest when it comes to money. Women, we give freely. He gets mad because, if somebody says, hey, I like that shirt, I'll just say, oh, well, here, you can have it. And he says, well, now you got to turn around and you'll go buy another one. But, I'm the giver. So he's definitely the strictest.
Okay.
But that's good, because if anything falls, he's got us covered, right?
That's right. That's
he's the head of the household. He's the breadwinner. He's the smart one.
That's right. I'm not even mad at him. Tamika says, yes, amen. My son is the same way. Sometimes I'm like, I will pay half. Let me tell you, I can just go ahead and tell you, is piss a bad word? Well, I'm gonna say I was pissed. Oh, sorry.
I say it sometimes.
My children, their money burn holes in their pockets, they socks, they jockey. Give them $2 and they're gonna find some cookies, candy, or something to spend it on. But I'm sure I didn't do the best job on teaching them how to keep it.
But sometimes you got to realize that your best was your best, because you can't teach them anything that you wasn't taught yourself. Exactly.
And that is, I think, a huge lesson in your book. And the best. One thing I noticed about your title, it doesn't say finding the best version of me. It said it is the best version of me. And I think it's a good thing for people to understand that who you are today, it's the best version of you today.
And it may not be who I'm going to be 5 years from now.
Exactly.
I'm always going to get better.
Exactly. And so for me, that was a huge takeaway thus far, is embracing me now and knowing that today is the best version of Angel that has ever lived. Now, will she improve? Prayerfully. You understand? But I'm not finding the best me. I am the best me today. And that was it. Like I said, it was a huge takeaway from your book. We are way out of time at this point, but I could probably talk to you like forever and ever and ever. But before we go, I would like for you to, if you have any wise woman words for the people that you would like to leave with them before we leave for tonight, you can share it right now.
Well, I would just like to encourage you that where you are today is not where you're going to be tomorrow or even the next day. So just always remember that there's always room for improvement. And sometimes when we dig down deep inside, those things that we know we need to change or we want to change, you just have to do it. Like Nike says, just do it. And the quicker that you find the root problem and you rip that Band-Aid off, you will find the best version of yourself. You know, I healed so much even through writing the book that it took me 40 something years to love who I am today. And it was because of my own bondage and because I allowed the enemy to talk and whisper in my ear, and I believe those things. Mm-hmm. So I think I encourage everybody, you know, even those who are non-believers, you know, just, you know, search within yourself, find God. And I promise it's that relationship with him that changed everything with me. And the closer I grew to him, the more I changed. You know, I even had my sister to ask me one time, she's like, what kind of drugs does your doctor have you on? You know, and I'm like, I'm not on any drugs. What are you talking about? She's like, because you're not the same person. I said, oh, that's a little bit of Jesus. Get you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, but really, that's the secret.
Yeah. A little bit of Jesus, whole lot of Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And a great amount of grace, right?
Yes.
I feel you. So listen, everybody. The best version of me. This is what the book looks like. You got yours? There you go.
Yes.
So this is what the book looks like. It's a beautiful cover. Like I said, I purchased the ebook version so that I can read when I'm on the go. I have a tangible copy when I up late night and I want to read and highlight and things of that nature. This is the Speak Up Sis Book Club book for the month of February. We are all reading this book right now. If you are part of Speak Up Sis Book Club, hey, I hope that you're reading or at least getting ready to read. If you would like to be a part of Speak Up Sis Book Club, please join us. If you support independent, self-published authors and you like reading and discussing books, we would love to have you. And we are reading this for the month of February. So everybody, you can go to speakupsis.com/bookshelf and you will find the best version of me listed, and you can go ahead and grab you a copy. How can the people get in contact with you if they would like to just talk to you or have you on their show or even do some transformational life coaching with you?
Well, you can contact me at TonyaWilliams01@gmail.com and I will respond to you. If you're on social media, I'm on social media as well. I have Tonya Williams Life Coach page, or you can come on my personal page and contact me as well. To book me for any kind of life coaching, I'm on mymentor.life. But you're surely to get a response if you just email me as well.
Okay, great. And you all can see scrolling at the bottom her email address. Go ahead and jot that down and give her a shout. Okay. So with that, everybody, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in again for Speak Up Sis Talk Radio. I am your host, Angel Charmaine, and this is the place where authors, especially Christian authors, have an opportunity to share the word of their testimony through their books to inspire your stories. We are here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a new author. So make sure you join us next Wednesday for another amazing Speak Up Sis bookshelf author. Thank you, Tonya, so much for your time. And listen, I just love you already, and I haven't even met you, but I'm just saying.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome, sis. You take care. And everybody else, we will see you all next time. Bye.